All right, thank you for staying with us. We're talking about, the case of Bobrisky and everything that went down, especially with his incarceration, if actually we can use that particular word. And the federal government, through the Ministry of Interior, has put up a committee, and that committee has come up with a report, stating what went down. Now, the angle we're looking at this morning, there is a report from Tribune that was published yesterday, Nigerian Tribune, and we talked about how Minasan, the former chairman of the Pension Commission of Pensions Board, Ibrahim Amina, Abdul Rashid Mina, rather, the case he was having, the child was part of the case as well, and how it was said that the son sent money to Kuje prison officials' account. This is from the panel, put together by the federal government. The investigative panel confirmed that the son of Abdul Rashid Mina, the former chairman of the defunct Pension Reform Task Force team, by the way, to even look at it, Abdul Rashid Mina was supposed to be the chairman of pension reform. It was supposed to be there to reform the task force, and everything went down the way it did. He sent money, the son sent money to the personal account of a prison official. And, Abdul Rashid Mina was sentenced to 80 years imprisonment in November 2021 for defrauding the government 2.1 billion naira. And the jail son, who was accused of being involved in conspiracy and money laundering, was sentenced to 14 years in jail in 2021, but later reduced by the appeal court in Abuja. The panel, while presenting his report to the minister, stated that Deputy Controller of Corrections, Kelvin Luafonsi Kechuku, did receive money from Mina's son. And these are some of the issues that we see. Now that many persons say this is one out of many that are seen the daylight. And so the idea of maybe people in charge, the ministers of interior or the federal government, needs a panel to find out what goes down. One will say, is it just to play to the gallery? We dare say they don't know, because these things are there. And many persons, you say, if not because of Martin Ose, very dark man who was intense, who was passionate because of the way he does his things, who brought this thing to the limelight. If it was just a newspaper report, as Punch has done, as Tribune has done, as Fisayo Shoyombo has done, the government could have looked away as well. It will continue as something very usual. But because very dark man will never keep quiet, he kept going on and on, and that is why we arrived here. These things are not new. Do you trust the government of the day enough that they will possibly turn the corner and do something different, or it will just be, business as usual? Because this is not new.
Yes. It's not a matter of trust. It's a matter of conscience. With Madam Fodio, the leader of the jihads from the north says that conscience is an open wound. If you have a clear conscience, the first thing that will strike you when you hear something is that you go, the country I'm governed, things are deteriorated to this level. But even when it happens, they just say, it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
And you are even talking of panel. Let's look at our electoral system. Let's just deviate a bit. As far back as 2007, late Yaradua set up a panel and said, the election that brought me to power is fraudulent. And then the Chief Justice was to head that panel. He gave a report how we can have a better election till today. The thing is guarding us. If you look at many other panels have been set up. Look at even the 2014 National Confab. Most of the things we are facing today, could have, the solutions are there. It's gathering dust. So setting up panel is just to cool down the noise, the tension, and then that will be the end of it. So what I'm expecting is that the media, the civil organization, they should keep bringing it into the
like we are doing right now.
So as they keep doing it, one day, a Solomon will come to judgment.
One day.
Yes, one day. If you let me give an example.
Look at a barrister. You said it's not a matter of trust, it's a matter of conscience.
Yes.
Now, let me use those two words. Do you trust these guys that are there enough that they have the conscience to do what is right?
It's not.
It's
Shakespeare
not about
said,
conscience again.
no, Shakespeare said,
Yeah.
it's not easy to see the human, to read the human minds from the face. If you look at their face, we will not be able to say. But if you look at their deeds, the woman, Edu, evidence show, government money passed to her account.
She has been on suspension.
She has been on suspension. What is the outcome?
All right.
And many others, even the woman in charge of women affairs, some allegations were alleged. The distribution of money to market women, a lot of things went wrong. What is the outcome? So that's why I'm saying that if we are going to judge them by their conscience, I'm not God. But if we are going to judge them by their deeds, we should not expect anything. But one day, somebody will say, enough is enough. Just as it happened in Ghana, just as it happened in South Africa, so it can also happen. Even in Kenya, it can happen in our own country. But it's just a matter of time. But we must not keep quiet. We should keep on saying it. The Yoruba said, you need to be banging in the ears of a thief. When you keep on, eventually you'll say, what is it? And then the conscience will prick them. And they will know that once a man is jailed, he's supposed to serve as deterrent. It's supposed to be, in fact, they changed the name. They say it's no more prison. It's called correctional center. Yeah. So if I'm being corrected, and inside the jail, my lifestyle is even worse, I'm giving you money. So who is correcting who? So this is the challenge of the moment. But I know, as you know, Solomon said it. He said, once you cut a tree, he said there is hope for it. Because a living dog is better than a dead lion. So that means there's hope for us as long as we remain as a nation.
All right, lawyer, public affairs analyst, Barrister Moses Obaditan, thank you so much for speaking to these issues. We're talking about the corruption in our correctional service facilities. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure having you on board.
Thank you for the privilege of being here.
All right, people, this is where we draw the curtains on the show Morning Spring for today. We make a return tomorrow for another interesting time. You can watch a recap of this show on our YouTube channel at Western Spring TV. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and X at Western Spring Television. My name is Evelyn Ohiolei, and of course, I'll remind you to stay tuned for Spring Trends coming right after this broadcast. Femi.
All right. I run my off here, on the program by using the word of the barrister and one song that was sung years ago by LD. That says, one day, it go better. Now, when will that one day be? When do we get to that point that somebody will say, enough is enough? These are the questions we keep asking so that won't be a Joe, in the sight of the rest of the world. Femi Ojo is my name, and I'll return tomorrow, God willing.